Just I want to start my session that we are doing today's session on minimum viability of the product. Until or unless we doesn't know the product, how could we define the minimum viability of the product? So before discussing about anything that product, we should come to know what is the product is all about. Whenever we talk about the product and services, we should know how would we define the product. So any kind of solution that we are giving to our users, that is called product. You can say the bundle of attributes is known as product. So again, the question is raises, what is product? The product is simply a solution of any problem defined by the end user and delivered by the solution provider. Suppose as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, as a common man, or any kind of as an innovator, we are keep on looking the societies and the problem those who are existing within the societies. So if we have any kind of solution for such problems, we go for that particular solution and we commercialize it. And whenever we commercialize our solution for the end users, that is known as product. If I talk about the product are having 4 or 5 phases. First one is core layer of the product. Second one is generic layer of the product. Third one is expected layer of the product. Fourth one is augmented layer of the product. And fifth one is modified or potential layer of the product. So what is core layer of the product? First, we note that suppose I'm moving in a street or a market and somehow I am feeling thirsty. So to satisfy my thirst, I need some kind of water. That water would neutralize my thirst. So if somebody is offering a glass of water, a glass of juice, or a cold drink, or anything else that can satisfy my thirst, that would be the product. So if any problem that is existing within the society, if any innovator having a unique solution about that particular problem, and when it goes for its commercialization, that is called the product development. And the minimum viability of product depends on these 5 layers. As I told you, core product. Second one is generic layer of the product. Third one is expected layer of the product. Fourth one is augmented. And fifth one is potential layer of the product. Core depends whatever problem identified by the innovator, how it provides solution to the end user, that is called core. जो भी प्रॉब्लम इनोवेटर ने फाइंड आउट की है उस प्रॉब्लम का सॉल्यूशन क्या है, दैट बिलोंग्स टू core layer of the product. Then the second layer is generic. Generic means how the process satisfy the customers or end user need. As I told you that minimum viability of product, that product have core and generic layer. Suppose, let me make my conversation in Hindi also, so that the people or the students, those who are not so much having the, you mean to say that conceptual clarity about that particular phenomenon or terminology, they should also get some kind of insight with a very easy language. सो मैंने आपसे कहा कि जैसे प्रोडक्ट की 5 लेयर्स होती हैं, कोर, जेनरिक, augmented, expected, and potential. Whenever any buyer went to the market to buy anything, whether you want to buy a TV, you want to buy a mobile phone, you want to buy bicycle, you want to buy a car, anything you want to buy those things, a customer has to provide 3 things. One is monetary, that you call price. Second one is your time. You went to the market. When you are going to the market, you spare some your valuable time. You went to the market, you search the thing, you make the comparative study, then you go to buy those things. आप मार्केट जाते हो, मार्केट आने में समय, मार्केट में सर्च किया, उसमें समय, मार्केट से सामान लेके वापस गए, उसमें समय। तो ये जो आपका समय लग रहा है, ये भी एक तरह की कॉस्ट है। क्लियर? आपने पैसा दिया, दैट इज एक्चुअल कॉस्ट। आपने समय दिया, दैट इज सेकेंडरी कॉस्ट। आपकी एनर्जी लगी, दैट इज थर्ड कॉस्ट। सो एनी यूजर, दोज हु आर बाइंग एनीथिंग, he is giving 3 costs to the buyer. You mean to say the originator or innovator. One is money, second one is time, third one is energy. So after buying any product, if the product or services is not fulfilling the demands or the need of yours, what kind of feedback the end user would have? अगर आपने बाजार से कोई सामान खरीदा, आपने जो इनोवेटर है या जो मैन्युफैक्चरर है या जो शॉपकीपर है, उसको आपने समय दिया, पैसा दिया, अपनी एनर्जी दी, और एट लास्ट इफ अगर आपको आपकी जो एक्सपेक्टेशन है उस पर प्रोडक्ट खरा नहीं उतरा, so the end user will get the unsatisfaction feeling. The feeling of unsatisfaction will also create a negative attribute for the product viability. So, first one is core, how my product is satisfying the need of the end user or buyer. The generic, in what way the product is satisfying the need of the customer. The third one is the expected. Whenever any buyer avail the product and services of any company, they have certain expectation from that particular product. Is meeting all the expectation of the buyer or not? If my product is meeting out all the expectation of the buyer, that means that would be a win-win situation for the company and the buyers. So this is called expected layer of the product. Other than this, suppose I have brought a mobile phone. Nowadays, the people, those who are buying mobile phone, they need good voice calling facilities. Apart from voice calling, they need video calling facilities too. They should also they should have a clear screen or a broader screen so that they can enjoy their OTT or their live streaming of videos. So these are the things that the mobile buyers are expecting from the mobile. So this is called the expected layer. If mobile phone company come up with a unique kind of feature that user doesn't expect, suppose a mobile company give you a kind of feature in which you can pause your live stream, you can record your live stream, you can reschedule your live stream, or you can uh, reshare it, your live stream, on some other platforms. If such kind of incremental innovation given by the mobile companies to you that you doesn't expect from the mobile phone, that comes into the augmented layer of the product. That means the service provider giving you a unique feature that end user doesn't expect it from the company, that is called augmented layer. And for that augmented layer, if any buyer getting anything extra against the money they have paid, so that kind of end user satisfaction create a brand winning position into the market for that particular company. अगर आपको अपने दिए गए अमाउंट में अपने एक्सपेक्टेड प्रोडक्ट के साथ साथ कुछ ऐसा भी आपको प्रोडक्ट में मिल रहा है जो आपने एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया था, इन दैट केस आप उस प्रोडक्ट से ज्यादा इंप्रेस्ड होते हो, आप उस प्रोडक्ट के लिए ज्यादा सेटिस्फेक्शन गेन करते हो, एंड दैट गिव्स द कंपनी टू ए ब्रांड विनिंग पोजीशन वेयर इट ऑक्यूपाइज सर्टेन स्पेस विद इन द माइंड ऑफ द कस्टमर्स, कि वो आपके माइंड में एक स्पेस ऑक्यूपाई कर लेता है, और उस स्पेस के थ्रू you do word and mouth publicity for that particular product and for that particular company. You have find out so many times the people are asking about that you use that company's mobile phone, this is good in their services, this is good in their quality, this is good in their practices. So these are the space occupied by the companies or innovators or the organization within the brain of the end user by providing their augmented layer of the services or augmented layer of the product, in which they are giving something extra beyond the expectation of the end user customer. That is called augmented. One more thing I want to tell you here, the things that are originated today will nowhere remain same forever. The things that are originated today, definitely they have a time frame. After that, they would decline in the public in demand. So maybe possible that the product to whom you are getting the benefit of innovation might be possible that after some time that innovation becomes out of the market. So your product would be out of the market, and once the product would be out of the market, you would lose your market share. So what you have to do? You have to develop a potential layer of the product in which you do time to time future modification so that your product should remain in demand in the market and you can continue enjoy your innovation. Clear? If I talk about today, nobody will love to buy the printing machine, or you mean to say the printer or typewriter, not printer, it's a typewriter, because typewriters were the practices that were in common in 1980s or 85. Nowadays, we are having the gadgets like computer, like laptop, like mini laptop. In your phone, there are keypad by which you can type. And while typing, you can find out the errors you have made through typing. Clear? Whatever error you have made, for that you have to just erase option, and you can erase simultaneously whatever error you have made. But at the time of typewriter, once you have made the error, you doesn't have that option that you can rectify those errors. Once again, you have to start from the zero. But now, if I have any error in my last line, before taking the printout, before taking out the printout, I can resolve that error 2 times, 3 times, or 100 times. And for that, there is no need to wastage of paper. And there is no need to type all the segments again and again. But what happened at the age of 80s or 85, when we are having only the typewriters? If we were having a error in the last line, again we have to type from the scratch till the end of the letter. So in that case, the producer doesn't meet out the swiftly and the rapid changes as per the business segments are concerned. In today's, the business are going on so swift, so that every second you are getting new kind of document, new kind of mail. So many documentations are doing around the globe. So with that kind of printer, do you think that you are typewriting machine, do you think that you could be able to meeting out the requirement of the today's business process? No. So for to avoid such consequences, nowadays we are having so much equipment in which we can just typing all the letters through voice command. We are having AI built software, those who can type all the answers related to your mail, whatever query that written in your mail, that is called chatbots. So in the potential layer of the product, whatever product you are having, irrespective of the segment, you have to keep on focusing on the research and development so that you can modify your product time to time according to the need and demand of the end user, so that your product should be in market and always share the market till it is in the business. Now, after finding out, I think somebody have asked question. If you have any question, please let me know so that I can answer your query.
Sir,
Yes.
Amit Rai sir,
हाँ जी बोलिए.
our meeting will be end after 10 minutes. So
Okay.
we have to, it's our limitations. So just you have to conclude in that.
Okay. Not an issue.
Okay, sir. We will not interrupt you in between. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So within these 5 layers, the innovator or the manufacturer has to define their product attributes, and with that product attributes, they have to define their target audiences. With that target audiences, how they would deliver the value to the customer, because not only the product viability, if I talk about as an innovator, you have to develop the value, you have to communicate the value, and you have to deliver the value. If you can deliver 3 V's to your customer while targeting or considering the 5 layers of the product, then definitely you would be able to generate a worthwhile product for the end user. And that product would definitely going to solve all the purpose of the society or the buyer's need. With that word, I would conclude my today's session. Still 2 minutes 15 seconds are left. If any audience have any query, please let me know so that I can answer your query within the provided time period.
Hello, Amit Rai sir.
Yes.
I would like to ask a question. Maybe
Please.
student don't have any question. How we can select that we are choosing a product that will be viable or not?
Sir, for that we have to look out the problem that are existing into the society, and how much, up to what extent that problem arises in the community. Suppose if that problem affects only a smaller segment of the society, that won't be able to give a very good market share. If any problem that persists or affect a large number of population, for that large population, if I am developing any kind of product that can satisfy their need or can solve their problem, for that product or solution would be opt by the large number of population, and that will give me a good revenue generation platform or a good business platform for that particular company. Suppose I had given an example, I am thirsty and I want a glass of water. For that, a glass of water can satisfy my thirst. Even I can go to the substitute also. Lassi, cold drink, fruit juice. There are so many options. So we have to define the segment, in which segment we are going to deliver my product and services.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for your time. Let's start the session today, which is having a topic, lean startup and minimum viable product or business. Before I start on the topic, once again, I want to reconfirm whether I'm audible to all.
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So basically, to start the topic, first of all, there is a starting ecosystem which is having different perspective. So a startup ecosystem in India is much talked about in the last decade, and especially last 5 years, it is having a high focus, especially across the nation, because that is the only focus that led Indian economy to rank 5th across the globe. Now there is a term lean. So lean and a startup. So what is the meaning of lean? Because lean is a methodology that refers to a set of principles and practices that originated in manufacturing sector, but have since been applied to various industries and business processes. The core idea behind lean is to maximize value while minimizing waste during the entire end-to-end process of manufacturing. And now it is not limited to only manufacturing sector. Now it is widespread to use this particular concept of having minimum wastage of resources, be it human resource or material resource. So lean principles aims to optimize the processes, reducing inefficiencies and improving overall productivity and quality. And that's why we are starting the term lean here before a startup. So lean startup methodology is essentially used for startup success in India competitive market. Now, after understanding the concept of lean, because you might have heard about Lean Six Sigma and all those concepts, which is purpose of that is to optimize entire resource and infuse a lot of efficiency and effectiveness in the system while minimizing the waste and having a very high standard process and quality. So a startup in Indian context, a startup refers to a company or business venture that is typically in its early stage of development. Because be it product development or services development, it is having different stages of development. And it is characterized by innovation, scalability, and a focus on addressing specific market needs or the need of end user. Means our development of any product and services is going to solve what kind of problem, to which sector, to what segment of people of the society. So startups in India, like those in other parts of the world, often leverage latest technology, the creative and innovative ideas, and new business models to disrupt traditional industries or creating entirely new market for niche technology. So some key features of a startup are we have to have innovative approach. Like innovation is the key here, because all the audience can very well, I think, agree. If you ask out of the whole audience in this session, how many of you are having Nokia phones? Perhaps no, or none. So that clearly an example of lack of innovation can ensure that the product will be totally out of the market, because now the end user and customer is having different choices with advanced features and value proposition, so that ultimately the dynamic end user and customer aspirations are to be taken care with innovative idea and lot of research focus. Those who are not staying relevant in the market competition, are not taking care of innovation, they will be out of the market. So that is the power of innovation. Then technology driven. So technology is changing so dynamically that keeping pace with technology is not so easy. But still, it is a need of the hour for a startup. If we want to start up in any particular sector to solve the problem of the public in the society, we have to adopt and use latest technology so that we can leverage the efficiency and effectiveness in the entire value chain and outcomes. So many Indian startups are technology driven and often focus on areas such as software development or using e-commerce platforms, artificial intelligence, fintech, health tech sector, and many other things where technology is the key. Without using technology, we can't stand, competitive in the market. Then entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is also an approach which is always ensuring to be creative and innovative and taking calculated risk and creating an impact and difference that is ensuring we are not ensuring only profitability in the business models. We are also ensuring customer care, customer feedback, end user perception and end user aspirations, and also ensuring that the problem and pain areas of the end user are taken care. Once the problems are addressed and the pain areas are taken care by entrepreneurs with the innovative and creative approaches, automatically profitability and growth of business will be part of that.
चलिए आधे घंटे बाद फिर करते हैं कोई कैब के
Kindly
लिए
mute the other audience. Also, startups, one of the important feature is the rapid growth. Because the startups have to face the rapid growth. Means we have to speed up. Considering the growth in the market, we have to speed up. And how we can speed up? By using the latest tools and technology and all the resources so that we can not only establish a business, we can grow, sustain, and scale the business operations end to end. That is also an important feature. Also, we have to see the social impact of startups. How my startup is going to create a positive impact across the society, or the people which are going to use my product and services, how we can create a positive impact on that, be it healthcare sector, be it education, be it agriculture, be it rural development. All these areas have a lot of critical issues. And for entrepreneurs, problems are the raw material, because if there are problems, there are business opportunities. So entrepreneurs are always seeing problems as a business opportunity. And that is the reason their approach is creating a difference among the traditional business persons. Also, we have to deal with diversity. Diversity in various aspects and contexts, maybe in terms of geography, in terms of culture, in terms of the different aspirations and expectations, like the business model which may be very successful in South India may not be equally successful in Jammu Kashmir or Northeast. So we have to see the aspiration and expectation of the particular customer in that particular geography. So while designing and developing any product and services, we cannot ignore the diversity factor so that our product is viable and sustainable. The global ambitions are also a silent feature of the startups. So the startup ecosystem in India is having a significant growth in recent past, and cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi NCR Hyderabad, Pune, they are means emerging as a startup hubs. These cities have numerous co-working spaces, incubations, accelerators, and networking event so that they are supporting a startup. There are so many government initiatives which are taken at central government level, state level, local level, and the need of the hour is to create a continuous awareness system or ecosystem where all the young budding minds, those who want to really be a successful entrepreneurs, they can start up, they can leverage all the initiatives and advantages and benefits as a entrepreneurship development program initiated by Government of India or the state governments so that they can avail the best facilities and opportunities. The key challenges faced by startups is the adequate funding. So the source of funding also to be taken care, be it angel investors, be it venture capitalists, be it other banking sectors who are supporting startups at micro level, small level, medium level, as a under the Ministry of MSME. So a lot of funding support is there. Only thing is we have to choose the right funding source at the right time adequately so that we can, take advantage of adequate funding, and that cannot be a hurdle in the growth of our startup. So Indian startup faces so many challenges like competition, funding, as I said, so many constraints, the regulatory hurdles might be there. Talent acquisition means the right skill set, means hiring right people at the right time as required, and also addressing the cultural diversity. So irrespective of all these challenges, the Indian ecosystem is continuously striving to leverage the system, to enable the system so that there is a significant improvement in the success of startups across India. So after understanding what is the lean system, what is the starting system, now we need to understand the main topic, lean startup and minimum viable product or minimum viable business. So let us understand what is the need of minimum viable product. So to understand minimum viable product, we also know that any product development or service development or design needs validation and testing before actually launching this in the market. So for that, the need of minimum viable product is, let us choose a key features of a product, which are the initial requirement of end user of that particular product or service. By seeing those key features, let us start designing the product, considering the requirement from the audience or end users at the initial stage. Because if we do a lot of R&D work and design the end-to-end project or service with the full features, it is having a huge cost incurred at the initial stage. And once after testing, we launch this product with all full features. So, and if the feedback is not positive, then there is chances of huge losses. To avoid those huge losses, first we have to go for the minimum viable product with the bare minimum features, so that overall what we are going to have the minimum viable product with the minimal cost obligations. So with the minimum cost obligation, we address the requirement or aspirations or expectation of the end user. And then after designing and developing the product, we will launch the product in a particular sector or segment of the customers. And then after certain use, what we will do, we will collect the feedback and data. So those feedbacks and data, by using a lot of surveys and other features, what we will do, these data and features will be highly useful, because after analyzing all this, what we can do is we can very well change our strategy, that whatever we have launched, that may not be sufficient, because these features might be needing some enhanced quality aspects, enhanced features, and some other changes are required. So based on the minimum viable product, which is having the least cost obligation at the initial stage, we will launch it, we will collect the feedback, and then what we will do, we will make necessary changes based on the feedback from the surveys, from the reviews, and from other sources of the feedback. So after implementing and incorporating all these changes, which are, given or reflected by the end users, then further we will add on and upgrade the product and services. And then over a period of time, once we will launch a full-fledged product or service with broader geographical area, definitely this will be more viable, and this will have more acceptability in the market and end users. So by doing so, what we can achieve the cost-effective solutions, we can achieve the minimum cost, we can achieve the recurring losses, and also the most important aspect is the mitigating or reducing the risk. What kind of risk? Financial risk, or the revenue losses or leakage. Because whatever risk of actual customer response, that end user response on ground was expected, that is tested with the help of minimum viable product. And once we get the required feedback and incorporate the changes, definitely now incorporating the change to get the response and acceptability of the customers can ensure that the risk is minimized. Risk is minimized means now the fully loaded products and services with all the features which are meeting the expectations and aspirations of the customer can be more acceptable in the market. And then by this method of continuous improvement, we will continuously getting the periodic feedbacks and continuously enhancing our product and services. So with this methodology of iteration method or continuous improvement method, we can meet the customer expectation, and we can ensure delighted customers or satisfied customers. So we know that once the customer and end user is delighted, or our product and services are really able to create a difference in the market, and our customer and product can get the value for money and value for whatever they are spending. So that will definitely ensure that they are more satisfied and there are chances of repeat business. Because ultimately, a startup or entrepreneur can be in the market, not only ensure sustainability and scalability in the market. And that is the reason we are initially having the minimal investment with the minimum viable product or service. And then we can have the overall launch of the full business model. Because once our minimum viable product or service is acceptable in the market, we can have the full minimum viable business model. Why? Because it is tested among the market, and it is tested with the help of end users. And the test results are continuously analyze, and necessary actions and improvement in the product and services are ensured, and then being means mitigating the risk and increasing and enhancing the acceptability of the product and service in the market. So with the help of the minimum viable product or minimum viable business model implementation, we can ensure that our risk of revenue losses or expenditure on the research and development, it can be reduced. And not only that, we can speed up the launch of the market. We can create a positive impact in the market. We can be competitive in the market. So that way, we can evaluate the entire system, and we can conclude that the Indian startup ecosystem has significant growth and innovation in the recent years. The government's Startup India initiative and various policy reforms are aimed at addressing the challenges and fostering a more conducive environment for a startup for thrive. Both minimum viable products and minimum viable business are about creating the most basic and functional version of the product or service or business to test, validate assumptions and ideas, and then gather available data. And after analyzing and implementing the changes or upgrading the model, they allow a startup to validate the ideas, and they can ensure success in the startup. The choice between an minimum viable product and minimum viable business depends on the level of validation required for the specific business concept and the extent to which various components of the business need testing. So overall, if I talk about the basic topic, it is ensuring that with the least resource utilization and optimal use of our resource in terms of money, human resource, material resource, and other skills, we can ensure the overall business model. Because at early stage of a startup, we are not able to afford so much funding and losses. So we can minimize the risk by adopting the minimum viable product and minimum viable business model at initial stage. So by doing so, we are ensuring a step-by-step process which is long-lasting, which is viable, which is cost-effective. At the same time, it is going to ensure growth and sustainability and scalability in the business. So thus, the challenges of many startups failing in India can be, addressed step by step with this kind of approach. And that's what the basic purpose of this particular discussion, so that the insights and triggers can be applied while start up any business in any sector, and then we can leverage the optimum utilization of resources, ensuring successful startup across our sector and India by contributing in the growth of Indian economy.
Sir, he is just asking that what is the difference between the old age and current age startups?
Okay. In the, if you go back 10 years back or something like this, so the approach was not very improvised. Why? Because the use of technology was not that much widespread. Okay. So now we are using the lean methodology. That is one thing. So that our results now in current scenario are definitely more analytical, because we are analyzing the data in a more scientific and logical way and then taking actions. Because you know that the artificial intelligence collecting the data and data analytics is more advanced in current scenario. So data collection methods and source of data, that is one aspect which may not be that much, reliable there during the older time. And now the collection method and source is more viable and valid, number one. And number two is, by using latest tools and technology, we are having more analytical approach in terms of data, and then the results of analytics are more viable and more feasible to take action as a corrective action. So definitely the current startups are more smarter to mitigate the risk and to make necessary choices, smart choices rather, than the previous one. So we can make smart choices nowadays so that we can optimize the resource and ensure more success. I hope I could
Thank you,
address
sir.
the
Thank you very much, sir. Shukla sir. You will attend our student as well as our faculty and give your precious time and spend with her. In future also, we would like to conduct such live session and physical session actually. So
Sure,
thank
sure,
you
I
very
will be
much, sir.
there.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all audience for your valuable time. And I'm sure once all these triggers which are discussed, if you further explore and apply, definitely you can do wonders. There's a lot of potential. All the best. Thank you so much.